under the gum tree. And we have put this together tonight with fourth genre and with river teeth. And my job is simply to introduce your hosts for the evening, and they will introduce the readers as we go along. So the bar is in the back. There are coat racks if you're sweltering, and we know you're going to enjoy this. So this is my notes. Jen and I balance each other up. You'll see she's all tech. So tonight, I'm very happy to welcome Cassandra Brown from River Teeth, Laura Julier from Fourth Genre, and Jana Marlies Marin. The Gum Tree, your host for tonight. Thanks for coming.
They recognize you in case they wanted to.
So, thank you for being here. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled once again that Jana organized this. Organizer Supreme. To thank Jana and Robin. Who doesn't want to be here? Jana. This happened last year. I'm halfway embarrassed to say I do not know my first reader. I've been told she's here. What? Louder. Oh, I hear now. Okay. So I'm halfway embarrassed to say that I do not know my first reader. I'll bet it's hi. I'm meeting her for the first time. We love this essay. When we got this essay in the Fourth Genre editorial offices, we were all crazy excited about it. And talked about it all the time. Hot dog curry. Because I don't know her, I don't know a whole lot about her, so I'm just going to read these essays appear in this issue of Fourth Genre. Stop by our table at the book fair and buy it. Alice's work has appeared in the Rumpus, the Million, Southeast Review, Massachusetts Review, Fourth Genre, River Teeth, Crab Orchard Review, et cetera, et cetera. Lots long. She has an MFA from Ohio State University, as well as a PhD from the University of Maryland. Alice Sandosharaj.
So I'm actually not reading the piece from, but I think this one too. This is actually an essay I had in the Rumpus called Natural Born Drivers. It's about my dad. I always write about my dad. So here we go. We vacationed by car, mainly because it was cheap and private, and we were poor and strange, but also because we each loved driving. After 5 grueling attempts, even my mother got her driver's license, the first of all the Indian aunties, some of whom never got theirs, spending their American days being chauffeured by grumbling relatives. After obtaining her license, my mother promptly began getting into accidents, though she never damaged anyone else's property. She eventually totaled 4 cars by diving into a ravine, crashing into 2 of our others, and flipping over a Rhode Island. My father paused as his blinker ticked. He always rubbernecked, part of a shameless immigrant nosiness I found undignified. I did not look out of spite. You're so nosy, I told him. That looks like your mother, Appa insisted. He was now leaning over the steering wheel. Behind him, a car pulled up. I repeated what I had heard on the radio. You're causing traffic. That is your mother. He sucked his teeth. How did I recognize my own mother? He slipped into traffic with uncommon speed, once ticketed, twice shy. 50 yards away, my mother stood on a median that split 8 lanes of traffic. Wind generated from that traffic whipped her braid and long skirt. Glass glittered on her. Her, wedged against the median, was our Datsun mini station wagon, upside down on its roof, 1 tire still spinning. Sorry, reached her. deductibles, repairs, lawsuits. A decade later in Rock Creek Park, when I was driving a car I had rented that was suddenly totaled by a hit and run, after the impact was not to ask, "Are you all right?" but to order me to switch seats with him since I was a driver. My father, my brother, and I had better luck with accidents than our mother, each of us driving long before we officially had licenses. My father understood that a learner's permit required I be supervised, but he knew how liberating a car could be. He loved driving. This love made him a prize on road trips. Uppa managed to go to Boston, New York, Chicago, even Disney World. Were within the thinnest of margins. Where he was back at one of his 2 jobs. He worked the jobs 5 days a week, sleeping 4 hours between shifts, working, he often joked, like a machine. Of the 2 jobs, I disliked his Holiday Inn job. It was less prestigious than what he did at the Indian Embassy, typist, where he seemed not only at ease, but jolly. When I accompanied him to the embassy, he introduced me to minor diplomats on what he cheerfully told me was the part of Massachusetts Avenue known as Embassy Row. An old man, all elbows and undershirt, made mutton curry in the basement, and my father's car had to be shuffled from one side of the street to the other because of DC's punishing parking laws. This might have been unbearable for the typical employee, but it suited my father. An informal part of his job entailed being in his car, picking up less important emissaries, escorting them around the mall. His knowledge of DC's infamously labyrinthine streets accorded him respect as a uniquely useful fellow. At his second job at the Holiday Inn, on the other hand, Uppa worked on the front desk with American customers at night. There was nothing glamorous about it. The job's very existence as a second job illuminated our poverty. Adults were supposed to have one job, I knew. Any more or less was an indication of dysfunction. In addition to overall handiness, he built picnic tables, and mechanical knowledgeableness, he installed toilets. My father also cars for extra money. He replaced rotors and timing belts, scrounging around junkyards for starters and undented fenders. On the way to his favorite junkyard one Saturday, I discovered my father had worked at 7-Eleven too. When did he work there, I asked. You were just a baby, my brother said, already bored. Next, he pointed to a Kentucky Fried Chicken. He used to work there too. He must have been a small baby then. I smiled at me in the rearview mirror. I used to work in all the places. When we reached the junkyard in Laurel that day, it was already hellishly hot. Neither my brother nor I wanted to shadow our father, as metal flashed and dusty plumes of silky dirt stirred with each step. In the hot shade where we could at least fight over the radio. When Uppa came back, he came prepared with sodas. Now he would eventually learn he could never pick the right kind of soda. Our preferences contingent upon complex algorithms of what was available. But that day he chose root beers to our disgust. He went to the attendant to return the sodas. Excuse me, sir. Did you change the soda? My son, he wants this. One mechanic down to the cracked open. I saw the cashier of his head. Another attendant. Get this guy $1. And this man customized 5, full of and Judy Blume books, young to be reading. Girl, I'm you fuck. I worked 2 years later, let me see how much I curse. I got to stop cussing so my friends had agreed. I knew fuck contained violence as well as lightness. It was the worst bad word and also the funniest bad word. As Diaz delineated so carefully, fuck might be civilization's oldest great word. Its capacity fast. That day at the junkyard, fuck felt like a verdict, a life sentence, an unexpected reckoning. Because not only did we just quietly get 2 more sodas, I knew then that this was not my father's first American fuck. Because cars had to be fixed and my dad had to work, I knew we would be back. Thank you.
Go on out and do raffle tickets.
We're gonna do a raffle, I guess. In the meantime, I am Sandra Brown. I'm the managing editor at River Teeth, and also work with the Ashland MFA program and the Ashland Poetry Press. So, a little bit of everything. Thank you, Jen, for having us for this event. It's great. Okay. And the winner is 8.
Last 3.
Okay, last 3. Okay, last 3 numbers: 486. 486. Check your tickets. Red tickets, not blue tickets. No, that's gonna count.
Anyone? Oh, here? 486? Yes?
Okay, number 2. 470. 470.
So I'm like, only a couple blocks today. Yeah.
Our first reader for River Teeth is Steve Harvey, the humble essayist. And besides being about the pleasantest person you'll ever meet, he's also the senior editor for River Teeth, and he teaches with our Ashland MFA program. So I'm not biased at all. He is wonderful. His River Teeth essay, The Book of Wonder, was a BA and has now been turned into a full-length manuscript, which is available through Ovenbird Press. Please help me in welcoming Steve Harvey.
Welcome, everybody. It's great to meet this group. I'm going to read a brief essay about why we're all here. What artists do when they gather together in troubled political times. It's called The Beloved Republic, and the reference is to an essay by Ian Forster. The Beloved Republic is a peaceful and fragile confederacy of kind, benevolent, and creative people that is necessary for civilized life in a world filled with thugs, loudmouth bullies. During the darkest times, it sheds light and keeps us civil. Now, at the end of the second decade of the 21st century, we need it more than ever. What I believe, need it more than ever. Though it has always been with us, the novelist Ian Forster named and defined it in an essay, What I Believe, in 1939, when it was most under threat, putting his faith in the, quote, natural warmth of its happy and mutual reliability. Tolerance, good temper, and sympathy are its traits, which, as World War II loomed, were no stronger than a flower beneath a military jacket. News reports of book burnings, the University of Berlin, and mass deportations of Jews prefigured the age of bloodshed that Hitler's fanaticism would bring to Europe and the world. It is against this backdrop of atrocities that Forster argued for the existence and persistence of the beloved republic. The beloved republic can be found everywhere. Its citizens easily recognize them. They are not heroes or saviors, or politicians who exude iron will, personal magnetism, dash, and flair, and sexlessness. The beloved republic does not consist of special people, but of ordinary people with a creative rather than destructive. Forster describes this band of true friends this way. Not an aristocracy power based upon rank, influence, but an aristocracy of the sensitive, the considerate, and the plucky. These people, he writes, amplifying on the sensitive for others as well as for themselves. They are considerate without being fussy. Their pluck is not swankiness, but the power to endure. And they can take a joke. They make up an invincible army, yet not a victorious one. This invincible army in the service of love and friendship wields one weapon: creativity. The people I admire, Forster wrote, want to create or discover something. For them, life is not a power grab, and certainly not the art of the deal. Instead, they found religions, great or small, where they produce literature and art, where they do disinterested scientific research. Creativity may express itself in more ordinary ways, as well, such as helping others or raising and educating children to be decent human beings. They band together and create groups, such as Ian Forster's own at Bloomsbury. And there's a loyalty among its members. What the troubadour poets in medieval France called mesura, or discretion, creating a healthy camaraderie. If I had to choose between betraying my country and betraying my friend, Forster framing the question at the heart of his essay. I hope I should have the guts to betray my country. Forster lived in an age of causes, both on the left and on the right, as do we, and realized that imaginative works fostered by friendship could easily be dismissed or by dogmatic believers as a bourgeois luxury. Certainty of true believers willing to resort to violence is a constant threat to its humble sovereignty. Hard to create if, as Forster quaintly put it, you get bonked on the head. It may be true, as the poet and songwriter Naomi Nye puts it, that we sing ourselves to sleep more than we know. But a song has little protection against starvation, flaming arrows, drone missiles, and deportation forces at the door. When we hear that knock, the singing stops. We are at their mercy. The brutes take over sooner or later, Forster admitted, and destroy us in all the we make. Our only hope during those times is to lay low, help each other, and resist where we can until those who live by the fist exhaust themselves. Lay low and keep singing. Only we can keep the song alive. It is our duty in the long run. In the long run, we can be hopeful because those awful periods of human history never last, for the fortunate reason, Forster explains, that the strong are stupid. Power in time gives way to beauty. I realize society rests upon force, Forster admitted. But all the great creative actions, all the decent human relations occur during the intervals when force has not managed to come to the front. During the intervals between those bouts with brutality, the beloved republic comes out of hiding, staggers blinking into the light, and begins to create again. Such interludes are the chief justification for the human experiment, writes Forster, adding, I call them civilization. In The Swallows of Kabul by Yasmina Khadri, the character describes modern Afghan under the Taliban as a wasteland in which ordinary lives have been robbed of their humanity in the name of God. We are not anything anymore, she says. We had some privileges that we didn't know how to defend, and so we forfeited them to the apprentice monks. We had some privileges that we didn't know how to defend. Those words have an ominous echo. In Khadri's novel, The Beloved Republic dwindles down to a frightened couple, hiding in shuttered rooms in a Kabul apartment. The vegetation brutalizes them, the helpless space that they have for one another become an instrument of mutual betrayal. The civilized interval between wars, when war is perpetual. Will a song rise? Will it be enough? One cannot help getting gloomy, Forster admitted, but also a bit rapid, and perhaps short-sighted. And yet, despite the seemingly inexorable evil of Nazism, he kept his faith in the spirit of human beings. What is good in people, he explains, and consequently the world, is their insistence on creation, their belief in friendship and loyalty for their own sakes. And that is cause for hope. The troubadour princes sang of Fina More, who sang of Fina More, were the beloved republic of their day, and were destroyed by the Crusaders. Their palaces usurped, most of them killed, and many burned at the stake after their last stand at Montségur in 1244. But the song survived crusades and inquisitions and war to become the poetry of Europe and the basis for romantic love. The beloved republic may, in times like ours, look besieged. But all of this has happened many times before. And as long as poetry continues to rise unbidden to our lips, it is alive and well, hidden in the rough garb of our common voices. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. We'll do 2 more raffle prizes. Can I have the raffle tickets, please? Please. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I'm Jana Marlise Marin. I'm the editor and publisher of Under the Gum Tree, and I'm so thrilled to see such a great crowd here tonight. Let's hear it for some nonfiction. I mean, come on, y'all. That's it. Thank you. I'm pretty sure this is the only nonfiction event at AWP. Am I right? Cheers to that. All right, we got some prizes here. And in case you didn't know, we're giving away copies of magazines and posters and t-shirts, so hang on to your tickets. Reader, okay? 472. Who has 472? Yeah, we got a winner. And next we have 515. That's 515. 515. Any takers? 515 going once, going twice.